It's Kambada, the shaman, the god, the crack baby. And right now you're tuned in to Kofi's Universe, the #1 and most truest source for hip-hop news, reaction videos, sports, black culture, and much, much more. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. Bada.
YouTube salute. All right, y'all, I'm back as usual, and I'm doing something that's new that was actually proposed to me by my subs in one of my live streams. They said, Kofi, can we give you some topics and you can, talk about, because we love your opinion and we want to hear from you. So now, if you have anything that you want me to talk about, I'll have a playlist called, topics, life lessons, and we'll talk about that. So this topic is my top 20 rappers of all time. This is my Mount Kilimanjaro, and thank you, Wu-Pac. Wu-Pac, he came up with this topic, and I appreciate you, Wu-Pac. So it took me some time to do this because I had to really think and figure out my top 20. And I have honorable mention. So just in case, if you be like, why he didn't name so-and-so, I have honorable mention, all right? So let's start. No particular order. These MCs, rappers, they are in my top 20. So if you hear me naming people, don't say, oh, so-and-so number 3 or 4. Nope, I'm just throwing the names out there. So let's start. KRS-One, Rakim, Redman, Eazy-E, Styles P, Kool G Rap, Tupac, Royce da 5'9", Nas, Ice Cube, Vinnie Segal, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane, Lupe Fiasco, Snoop Dogg, DMX, Immortal Technique, Kendrick Lamar, Ghostface Killer, and Black Thought are tied at 20. So I'm just letting you know. All right, so let me name a couple of these rappers, and I'm going to tell you why they're in my top 20. Let's start with Eazy-E. I grew up on Eazy-E. My sister used to play Eazy-E. My cousin used to play Eazy-E. NWA, I can't deny it. I can't move and run from that. Always love Eazy-E. So he's got to be in my top 20 because it'd be unfair to say he's not in my top 20. I grew up on Eazy-E. Rakim, Eric B and Rakim together, like I said, dope, classic. Rakim is a microphone fiend. He's a microphone controller. His cadence, his delivery, to me, he's done so much for hip hop. Supreme lyricist on the mic. I mean, you cannot have Rakim in your top 5, 10. I mean, if you don't, something's wrong with you. KRS-One, that's a scholar, that's a philosopher, that's an educator. You got to put him in your top 5, 10. To me, he's just, up there. I mean, he's a teacher. He's done so much for hip hop and still doing things for hip hop, and he's been consistent. He's never sold his soul for a check. Shout out to KRS-One. Tupac has been making hits before he went to death row. When he made Me Against the World in 1995, the album went platinum. And Tupacalypse, Strictly for My Niggas, he was doing so many great things he was doing in Above the Rim, Juice, Poetic Justice, and he was always making hot singles on so many soundtracks. So Tupac, All Eyes on Me, to me, I feel like his best albums were Me Against the World and Machiavelli. Tupac had a great work ethic. You couldn't take nothing away. Versatility was superb. Ice Cube, writing for NWA, production, leaving NWA and still becoming a platinum, multi-platinum artist. To me, Ice Cube is like one of those players, like he was on a championship team, and I say this all the time as an example. He can go to his own team, be the franchise player, and still win a ring. That's Ice Cube to me. And I grew up on Ice Cube, Death Certificate, Lethal Injection, forming West Side Connection. He has so many rings. Ice Cube is a GOAT. Snoop Dogg. Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, baby. He was featured on The Chronic. That was his debut. His first album, Doggy Style, one of the most anticipated albums of all time. I love Ice Cube, and Ice Cube have been having so many hits after hits after hits. We're talking about The Last Meal. We're talking about putting the East Siders together, putting LBC Crew on the map. You know, doing things for the Dog Pound, doing things for Death Row. He's a pioneer of the West Coast, putting together the Crip Card and all these things he's done. So shout out to Snoop Dogg. And I'm old school, y'all, so I can't just be a new school person. LL Cool J, Radio, I Need Love, Mr. Smith. I mean, he has the hits. He's a battle rapper. Before there was Drake and Fabulous, it was LL Cool J. He was doing that shit. He was the one that actually converted to be hardcore to go to the mainstream. That was LL Cool J doing that. Vinnie Segal, he's my favorite Rockefeller rapper or Rockefeller artist of all time. When I first heard him on Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life Volume 2, like, damn, this dude is tight. Then I heard him on The Streets Is Watching soundtrack that came out in 1998. And when I heard his debut album, when I heard his debut album in 2000, The Truth, 4.5 Mics in the Source, The Reason, 2001, he formed State Property with, you know, bringing them 2 albums together. Then The Becoming, even though he went to jail to serve like 12 months, Vinnie Segal, man, like I said, he might have made no albums after The Becoming as far as that was like classics to me, but those 3 classic albums right there, his mixtapes, the State Property albums, his features, I mean, he was a real bully. And to battle Jadakiss and the Lox at that time, nobody wasn't messing with beans, and I'm always going to remember that. Kool G Rap, he influenced Jay-Z, Raekwon, Nas, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, Big Pun. Kool G Rap, even with DJ Polo, he had some great albums. Wanted, Dead or Alive, that Mafioso Style. 4, 5, 6, his debut album by himself was a classic. I mean, Kool G Rap, he's a godfather. He's a don, even when he was with the Juice Crew. Big Daddy Kane, before Fabulous, we had Big Daddy Kane. The women loved him. I mean, his wordplay, it was unbelievable. I'm just like naming things. Royce da 5'9", I always liked Royce da 5'9". He's always one of been my favorite rappers. When I first heard him on Eminem album in 1999, like, damn, who is this dude? I always thought Royce da 5'9" was tight. He never got his props in the early 2000s. I know he came with the Slaughterhouse. That was fun as far as good as, you know, marketing himself. I felt like Royce da 5'9" career didn't really take off until he sobered up. Then he put out Layers. He put out Book of Ryan, The Allegory, his great freestyles on Funk Flex, LA Leakers, coming out with Prime, Volume 1 and 2 with DJ Premier. Royce da 5'9" is a top tier MC. Kendrick Lamar, I didn't really care for Section 80 album too much. It was cool. But when I heard Good Kid, Mad City in 2012, like, wow. When I heard To Pimp a Butterfly, another classic. Damn was decent. What he did with the Black Panther soundtrack, he curated that. You know, how his features on so many tracks with TDE. He's put TDE on the map as helping him. The Control when he was with Big Sean and Jay Electronica, dope as hell. Kendrick Lamar, he's put the West Coast back on the map. DMX, it can't get no better than this. It's dark and hell is hot. And Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, 2 albums that came out in 1998, both classics. DMX kept dropping albums, and then there was X in 1999. Then he dropped an album in 2001. I think that was the Great Depression. Then he did the Rough Riders Volume 1 and 2 and 3, helping that get off the map. So many features. KRS One gave him props, and DMX has always been one of my favorite rappers to get me hype. Who else I can name? Styles P. Let's start with Styles P, y'all. Love Styles P. You know what? Jadakiss used to be my favorite member of the Lox at one point. But when I first heard Styles P, this is how I started getting really up on Styles P. When I first heard Holiday on Rough Riders, Ride or Die Volume 2, I was like, wow, he's killing that. And then I heard him on We Are the Streets, and then when he came up with The Gangster and the Gentleman, that was a classic album. Then his mixtapes, Styles P killed the mixtapes in the 2000 era. Time is Money, second album on Blacks, you know, he started to show the conscious side, and Super Gangster, you know, album, his third album, fourth album, he was just dropping albums. Like, damn, he was just dropping great albums. I was like, okay, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, you know, the reason why I like Prodigy because he was always featured on people albums and doing great things, coming out with Havoc, because Havoc produced and he was right, you know, rapping too. But the infamous Hell on Earth, Murder Music, those three albums, the second and third and fourth studio albums from Mobb Deep are all classics. Prodigy has some of the best opening verses in hip hop. On Give Up the Goods, Eye for the Eye, Shook Ones Part 2, Hell on Earth. He got some of the best opening verses on Quiet Storm. His solo album, H&IC, was powerful and great and dope as hell. So, and then he started to show people the other side, you know, his woke side, you know, Immortal Technique. He's got to be up there. He's got to be up there because Revolutionary Volume 1 and 2, The Third World, The Martyr. He got a new album coming out. The Rites, not the Rites of Passage. Damn, man. I forgot the name of the new album coming out, but it's coming out. He's always dropped classic albums, and he's so, you know, his revolutionary side is just something that's always resonated with me. Ghostface Killer, the reason why he's up there is because he saved the Wu. He saved the Wu. So many times when everybody thought the Wu was going down, Iron Man, Supreme Clientele are classics. His contribution to Only Bills for Cuban Links is like his album also. His contributions on 36 Chambers, The W, Wu-Tang Forever, Iron Flag, his other solo albums that came out, Pretty Tony, you know, so many albums he did, man. Like I said, he's the most consistent Wu-Tang member with a great discovery. And if Nas, let me just end with Nas with this. Nas, when I first heard him on Live at the Barbecue, I was amazed. And when I heard Illmatic in 1994, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it, you know, about Nas. And then It Was Written was dope. I met Nas in 1996. He autographed my Illmatic and It Was Written album. What else about Nas I love? I mean, I felt like I Am was solid. Nostradamus was weak. I didn't like Nostradamus, but I felt that Jay-Z helped Nas resonate his career by disking him, and Nas had to go in his bag with Stillmatic, then came with classics after Stillmatic with Godsons. Excuse me, Street Disciple was tight. The Nigger album was dope as hell. That was a classic. Distant Relatives was a classic. Life's is Good was good. The Lost Takes Volume 1 and 2. Nasir was weak. I felt that he redeemed himself too with King's Disease and his so many great features Nas has done, and people don't realize that. Redman, one of my top MCs of all time. How can I say not talk about him? What the album in 1992, There's a Dark Side, Muddy Waters, 3 classic albums right there. Some of the best verses in hip-hop history. Redman, for real, he's birthed so many MCs. But I just kind of want to end with these MCs and just touch with those MCs. Now, these are my honorable mention MCs right here. Guru of Gangstar. I mean, he never really put out nothing solo except like the Jazz Mask albums, whatever, but he's up there. Biggie Smalls, the reason why he's not in my top 20 because he only had 2 albums. He only had 2 albums. I don't consider Born Again. That was an album Puffy just put together. But Biggie Smalls, 2 classic albums, but not too much for me. Common has always been dope. I love Meek Mill. Meek Mill's a great, you know, rapper, but, you know, I kind of like some of his other albums really didn't hit. Method Man, I love Method Man, but he never put out great solo albums. He's always good on the Wu-Tang albums or the Redman and Method Man albums. Jay-Z has a couple of good albums, but he didn't make my top 20. I love Ludacris. Ludacris has some solid good albums. Big Pun, 2 dope-ass albums, but it wasn't enough. Cannabis never had great albums to me. His wordplay has always been dope, but his albums never made me feel like, oh my God, oh my God. Cormega just never got the publicity. Dead Prez, I can't separate them, so I can't put them in as the top 20 because these are top 20 rappers, not groups. Inspector Deck is my favorite Wu-Tang member of all time, but he never had great solo albums. Uncontrolled Substance was a decent album, but remember his album got actually destroyed in the flood when RZA had the beats, so he had to redo his album all over, and he had to kind of do the majority of the production. RZA really do the production. Razzcast has always been dope. Corrupt first album, Corruption, was solid. The Streets is a Mother was a dope ass classic album. Space Boogie, Smoke Odyssey. His third album was solid, but it wasn't the best. DJ Quick is one of my favorite rappers, but I felt that he didn't make the top 20. Sean Price, you know, he was with Helter Skelter, Ruck, but, you know, he died too early. Benny the Butcher's still too new. Oh, Skino from State Property. He was great on the State Property albums. He just put out mixtapes. He never put out an album. That's why he couldn't make my top 20. Slick Rick, when he was deported, that's why, you know, he was only enough material. He's a great storyteller. Kambada, I love Kambada, but I'm still, you know, want to hear more material moving forward in the future for maybe one day he can make my top 20. You know, because it can always change. My top 20 can always change. Like I said, I have Common right there. Kanye West, Big L is right there. Spice One, Mos Def is right there. So my top 20 can always change, just to let you know. But this is my top 20 so far. I want to hear from you. How do you feel about my top 20? Do you like it? Do you don't like my top 20? What's your top 20 rappers of all time? It can be the US, the UK, Ghana, South Africa, Italy, South Korea, Brazil, doesn't matter. I just want to hear your top 20 rappers of all time around the world. Post your comments below. Host smash Black Panther the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. If you want to support and donate to the channel, I have Patreon, patreon.com/KofiUniverse. Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Streamlabs, everything's in the description. Until next time, salute.